Welcome to the 5th episode of the MC Knitting Adventures podcast. 5. We've done 5.
5 already. I can't believe it.
My name is Colleen.
And my name is May. Welcome back, returning viewers, and welcome to those of you who are seeing us for the first time. Today, we will, on our venture, it takes us to Kitchener-Waterloo, and I'm excited to share that with you. We had a lot of fun that day. The weather was a bit cold, but we had fun. It was great.
Yeah, the roads were good, though. That was good.
Yes. But before we start to talk about Kitchener-Waterloo, we will be talking about what we're wearing today.
Okay.
Colleen will be talking about what we're wearing today.
I will.
Yeah.
Now, I've got May wearing the Koigu scarf. And yes, I did show it last week. It is a lovely pattern. It uses 1 skein of Koigu yarn. It's 50 grams, 160 meters. It's 100% merino wool. This is the Plums Purple is what it's called. And it's mine, but I did say last week I would share. And so guess what? I'm sharing.
I appreciate that.
It looks really nice. I like it against the white. It looks really good on you.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome. And I'm wearing a pattern that is lots of people have made. It's the Hitchhiker by Martina Behm. And it is a great shawlette if you've only got 1 skein of sock yarn. It goes a long way and you just keep going until you absolutely have none left. So it's nice that way. This one is made by, it's yarn by String Theory. It's called Caper Sock and I absolutely love it. It's the graphite colorway. And it's 80% superwash merino, it's 10% cashmere, and it's 10% nylon. So the cashmere makes it really soft.
It is. It's really nice and soft, and it really makes it drape nice when it's like that, I guess.
Yeah, and the yarn is tonal, so it, as much as it's just one color, it has all these colors going through. It's just the different shades of it. So I really like how it looks, and I like how it looks against black, and I wear a lot of black.
I love that color too. So great color. Yeah.
So that's what we're wearing. And so now we're going to start talking about our finished objects. Welcome to our finished objects. Today I'm going to talk about some knitting, I'm going to talk a little bit about sewing, and May is going to talk about one of her finished objects as well. So we've got lots to share. So last week we talked about the Aeque cowl by Hilary Smith Callis. And what I've done is I've made it one out of Barocco Comfort Sock. It's 50% nylon and 50% acrylic. It feels amazing, and there it is finished. So, rumor has it I like purple, and so I decided to make one. The yarn is almost like self-striping yarn, but not quite. But it just fits over your head. It's similar to the Anguli cowls that May loves, and I wanted to have one for myself. So it lies a little differently. There's a garter edge here, and there's some detail along the side. So that's going to be for me. Once again, I think it's going to be nice over a black turtleneck or something like that.
And another one I can borrow.
Yes, I'll still share it with you.
Thank you.
Hold it up. I want to see what it looks like on you.
Yeah.
Oh, the color would be good on you. So that's great.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah.
Good. So that's the first one. The second one, May and I are going to wear together because it's huge and lovely. So this is, I guess we should hold the right side up. So I'm going to switch that around with you. So it's not going to fill, it's going to fill the whole frame. Oh my goodness. There we go.
There we go.
So this is the My Sister's Shawl Mystery Knit Along by the Cozy Up with the Stitchin' Sisters group. Those ladies who are lovely from Grand Prairie, Alberta.
And you had no idea that this was going to be like this.
No, so it started, the pattern will be out, so I'm not going to say too much about it, but it ends up being, and I was very impressed that Jamie knew that it was a trapezoid. I'm a math teacher, and when I heard her say that, oh, I was so thrilled. So good for you and good for your math teacher, whoever that was. So if you take a look, it ends up pointed at both ends. There's lots of lace. I used Vivid yarn is Royal Purple. This color, which has purple and a jade in it, is called Dragon's Egg. And then this, and they called it the Lacy Zags, which is a cute name. That is a Cascade Heritage Silk, and it is in a jade color. I don't remember the number of it, but that's it.
That's
it
very
is
nice.
so
it's so soft and light.
I know.
There's a lot of wool here, though.
Exactly. There is a lot of wool, but it is going to be warm and cozy. And I love blocking something. I never knew about blocking before, and I really am enjoying in the last probably 5 or 6 months learning about how to block and learning the difference it makes to the drape of the object. So I'm looking forward to wearing this, especially because it's kind of cold and snowy today for us.
And so when there's things all over the house, all over the floors that got little pins in them, I now know that that's called blocking.
That is officially called blocking. And right now there's some mats in the basement. And what those are going to do, I have another shawl that I need to block. So that's that. Now, my third finished object is sewing. And so I have a niece who lives in Calgary, and her name's Meredith. I hope she's going to watch. So hi, Meredith. We're here. And what I wanted to do, I was talking to her on the phone a couple of weeks ago, and she said, I'm started to knit, Aunt Colleen, and so I just want to know if you're going to be there if I have any problems over the phone. I said, no problem. I'll be your 911 knitting help. So she kind of had a chuckle about that. And I thought, well, I want to support her because it's nice that we can share that. And so what I decided to do was to sew a project bag for her. So I have this How to Make Your Own Holiday Bag. It is a pattern by Nicole Clark from Hugh Loco. And she's got a tutorial and it's got videos. And so I made a few of these. And so I decided to make her one. So I'm going to hold this up so you can see it. I am in love with this. So I'm hoping.
I love the little sheep on there.
Oh, I know, they're so cute.
Yeah,
so I am hoping it's got a square bottom.
You do such a great job, and you put lining in there.
Yep, there's lining.
And everything's so nice and neat and tidy. Like, you're such a great sewer. Look at that.
Great,
like, it's like professional. It's got this little tag. It's got all kinds of things on there.
There you go. So my plan is that what I'm going to do for the zipper is I'm going to put on a Progress Keeper, and I'm going to try and do it like Dawn from the Codependent Knitters did, and she puts on a bigger ring, and what that does is then it can be a Progress Keeper, and it could also be a stitch marker. So I'm going to make a couple of those up, and then I think what I'll do, May, is get you to take some pictures of it.
Okay, yeah.
That would be great. And then we're going to put them in sometime in our podcast, and you'll be able to see that. Because one of the things we did when we went to Kitchener-Waterloo, we went to a store and they had some cute charms.
Yes,
so we'll talk about that in our acquisitions. All right. So May, now it's your turn.
Okay, so my finished project is, I know I've mentioned in a few other podcasts that I do a little bit of artwork. Like I had said before, I dabble in so many little things. But here I have my painting behind us that we
I'm going to move out of the way so you can see.
Yeah, so we'll give you a little shot of that painting. And I enjoy doing that kind of thing. This particular painting here, I used light modeling paste for the trees. They have a texture on them.
Hold that up for you?
Yeah, sure. And they have a texture on them, and you won't be able to see that from the video, but they do have that, and I like this, and I will do that again with some other pictures. And what I do is I make a stencil, put the stencil over top, put the modeling glue on, peel it off. It's quite a little technique. So I plan on having more of my artwork displayed here, and we'll see how that goes.
Perfect. Oh, I forgot. There's one other thing that I'm going to include for Meredith, and we found these, which are magnets.
They're so cute.
They're so cute. We found them at the dollar store, so I picked some up. I'm going to tuck those in that project bag, and so I send it off and support her in her knitting. So I can hardly wait to do that, because now once we've filmed, now I'm going to tuck it away and mail it away, and it should be good.
Okay, we love you, Meredith.
Love you. Bye. So that's our finished objects, and next we're going to talk about my works in progress. Now we're going to talk about my works in progress. So I have 3 things to show you today. The first one is the baby and toddler sock pattern, and that's by Dragonpine Designs. So that is the ladies that are at London Yarns that designed it. It's a lovely pattern. I'm really thrilled about it. And last week we were talking about the knitting retreat that I kind of dragged May to last year. We had a great time.
It was fun though. When we dyed the wool, is that what you're gonna?
That's what I'm going to talk. We had a great time. We dyed the wool together, and I had made the shawl. It was the autumn shawl that I showed you last week with it, and I had some left over. So I thought, well, I don't have a whole lot left over, so what can I do? So I decided to make some baby socks because we have friends that are having grandbabies and all those good things. So this is, oh my goodness.
Oh, it's so cute.
This is what it looks like. This is my hoe. I said it again. So that is my hoe, and it doesn't take much to do. I'm ready to Kitchener the toe. I am in love with it. We decided to call this color, what did we decide?
Beach Baby, I believe.
Beach Baby, I think. So it's good to make baby socks out of Beach Baby yarn.
Yes.
So that's what we've got.
That's cute.
I have this much, and then I have a whole other ball this big. And so I think what we may be able to do is get 2 pairs out of it.
Oh, that would be great.
That would be great. So I'm hoping that I can do that. They knit very quickly, and I really like the fact of the ribbing at the top because it's going to be snug with the baby's leg, and they shouldn't fall off.
Like a lot of times that happens with little kids. That
exactly.
Shoes fall off. So that would be great for somebody, not grandkids, because we don't have any yet, but we're not saying anything about that. But that'd be nice for some child.
Exactly. Because what I want to do, when I'm making Mae's Anguli cowls, there's always a little bit of yarn left. She doesn't like things with wool in it very much. So I figure that's the best part. So my purple Aeque cowl that I showed in my finished objects, I've got lots of yarn left. So what I may do is just with the ends of it, just keep making little socks and tucking them away so that when there are babies around and gifts to be had, we'll do that.
Perfect gifts.
All right. So we discussed that my decision was to make socks for everybody in the family in the year. And so I've been working really well. We made Scott's. We made some for Scott's friend Rochelle. And so now my job is to make some for Thomas's girlfriend, and her name is Taylor. And so last year I made her some, and I know the size, so it's perfect. That pattern is Katy Loose Sock Pattern. Once again, it's by Dragonpine Designs. I love this pattern. It's also ribbed at the top.
Now, have you made Taylor socks before?
I did. Last year I made her some. That was in that Surf's Up color that we talked about.
Nice. Right,
so I decided to do something different. If you can hold that up for me. So this is called Grapes, and I really, really like it. It's got black and gray and a little bit of white in it. It's a wool-free sock, so...
Oh, it feels soft.
Yes, so Taylor's not going to have to worry about washing it. There's the yarn. Premium Yarns.
I see you have a little project keeper on there too.
Yeah, it's a progress keeper, so let's
progress keeper. Okay, I'll get the terminology.
I know it's all language that we have to figure out, so that's good. So it kind of tells me how far and kind of gives you a little bit of confidence. You feel good because you know you've got that far, and away we go. So I'm working on the leg. It's a cuff down sock, so I've got a couple of months to get those done. So I know I'm going to handle that.
Good.
The last thing I'm going to talk about is the Genesis wrap. It's by Lauren Slagle of lolodidit, and it is the first time I have ever done a pattern where it's done by weights. So you take a color of yarn and you knit it up to a certain point, and that's all. It's a paid for pattern, so I'm not going to mention much more. Then you do some striping, and then you change the next yarn. And so that's how this whole thing goes. Now I must admit, I thought I had weighed it right, but I did run out on the one color, so I had to rip back a little bit. That's not a problem, it's all fixed now. This thing is going so fast, it's all garter stitch, so I just have to go back and forth, and I don't have to worry about purling. Purling isn't an issue, I don't mind purling, but my thumb is not always happy when it does the purling, so that's why I'm glad that this is it. I'm much further along than I thought I was going to be. I guess I should. Yeah, I'll do that in just a sec. This is Sweet Georgia Party of 5. This is the honey fig, so it has those colors in it. And I'm going to have to turn it around so I can tell you. So there's raspberry, there's lemon curd, there's mulberry, grape jelly, and ultraviolet. It's Tough Love Sock, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon.
Do they call this the jam?
We could say knitting's my jam. We could have, but it's not. There we go. So
it's quite nice, the colors, actually.
It is, and I like that it's not too deep. And I love that pop of yellow. I'm not usually a yellow person, like that wearing the yellow, but I really like. Now, it does say in the pattern you're supposed to weave in your ends as you go, and I haven't. And so I'm going to ask you, for those of you who are watching, and for those of you who have subscribed, thank you so much. Sometimes when I'm reading about knitting, it says that you are supposed to weave in your ends and then block. And sometimes it says you're supposed to block and then weave in your ends. I've done it both ways, and I'm not sure which is better.
Well, you're not sure which better works for you? Like which?
Yeah,
Is it both the same?
Yeah, my sister's shawl, I didn't weave in the ends until after I'd blocked it. And that worked well, but I've done it where I have put them in and blocked it, and it worked all right. So, but I'm kind of a bit of a rule follower, so I really would like to know what's the best thing to do. So if any of you can comment down below, that would be great. Just give me some ideas of that. I'm kind of new to the blocking scene, and so that will help me out.
Right.
Now, the one thing I want to mention is this little scale. It's called Smart Weigh. And what you do in this pattern is you have to weigh. So this is up to 0.1 of a gram, and that's what they said. I got this on Amazon, and it's great. I'll let you hold it up.
Okay, so hold it up high enough then we can see it. Right?
There you go.
That's really kind of slick.
It is.
Put the wool on here.
Absolutely.
Gives you the little numbers here.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
great.
Little lid, keeps it nice.
Yeah.
Very compact. The only scale I'm partial to is the one in the bathroom, which I don't go on very much. And this I can't stand on, so it's a good thing.
That's a good thing. It has been amazing, and I think it was when I was watching the Grocery Girls one time, and they were talking about their Notions kits and what they had in it, and they had mentioned that. So I had bought this probably last year, and then when I got this pattern, this Genesis wrap, I could pull it out and use it. So I'm really liking the scale. I'm loving this pattern. I really am just about ready to start my last color. I can't believe it. I just started it kind of in the middle of the week. This is the yarn that my mom gave me money for Christmas. So if you're watching, take a look.
And your mom is so sweet.
Yeah, she's a sweetie pie.
Yes, she's
and I will take that over to her and show it to her once it's all done. So that's my works in progress. And next we're going to talk about our adventure to Kitchener-Waterloo.
Yes. Our adventure today takes us to the regional municipality of Waterloo, and that consists of Kitchener, Cambridge, and Waterloo, and collectively they're called the Tri-Cities. The population, about all three of them together, is about 500,000. It's only about an hour and a half, I think, from London. I think that was our drive. Do you think it was an hour and a half? I can't remember. Yeah, an hour and a half.
Yep.
So the drive was quite nice. It's a 2-lane highway. It wasn't too bad. The weather was quite cold. As we were driving down, we were going down this highway. We saw all these cars on the side of the road, and we thought that was a bit unusual. So we took note, and we looked over into the small little lake up by Wildwood. Conservation area.
Right,
we saw all these people on the lake with their little tents. They were ice fishing. So I had to get out of the car. I'd pull the car over, and I wanted to get a photograph of that. So you'll see some of those on the photos when you see them, right? But it was kind of cool. And the guy was walking down there with his Tim Hortons coffee, and I thought by the time he gets there, they're going to be ice caps.
I think
it was so cold. But as long as I guess you're dressed for the weather, it's not something that I would love to do or anything, or aspire to do that.
No,
but
me neither.
It's not something I like. But anyway, it was part of the trip. It was fun to see that. When we got to Kitchener, we went to a couple of yarn stores. But before we talk about that, I'd like to tell you that in that region, there's a very large population of the old order Mennonites, and it's the largest in Canada, I think.
In Canada, wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
And so you have to be careful when you're driving there, especially in the spring and the summer. I think when the horse and buggies are out, you have to be very careful on the highway that you're not going to run into them. So they have a market there, St. Jacob's Market, and a lot of the Mennonites, I believe, are vendors there that will sell their home goods, like the apple pies.
We've been there a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's a
There's
huge
lots of
market.
things to see.
Very large indoor market.
Lots
I think
of
it's
good
one of the
food.
largest. Yes. And jams too.
And jams.
Seems to be a jam. Seems to be a jam
Episode.
theme here. Yeah.
Exactly.
So anyway, if you get a chance to go to Kitchener or Waterloo, St. Jacob's Market is absolutely amazing. I highly recommend. A great place to go and buy your stuff. Now, while we were there, we went to a store called Shall We Knit. A great little store. Colleen will talk to you a little bit more about the actual yarn store and what she thought of that.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about that. So here is their logo. There's their card. And the owner's name is Karen, and she is lovely.
Mm-hmm.
And the store, once again, similar to some other stores we've been in, is all separated in little rooms in an old house. And they have upstairs, they have sales, which is always nice to check out. The day that we went actually was a great way to go because there was a sale that day. So I had to pick up a few things, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, on your stash.
More stuff. But she was really helpful. They have all kinds of different yarns there. The whole back room is fingering weight, lace weight. Then there's a place where there's worsted weights and double knitting, and then there's chunky. And there was a chunky cowl that you fell in love with.
When you first walk in the door, there was a picture of it. It was, it was right there. Yeah,
exactly.
On the mannequin, it was great.
It was, and it was the kind of thing that just will pull over your head. You won't have to worry about it. So I think that may be something I'm going to check out. I've got the name of the pattern, so that will be helpful.
Now, what I did miss that time is we have been there before, but this time I was missing the dog, but the dog wasn't there today.
Oh, I know, he's such a cutie. That's right.
It was nice.
That's right. Yeah. And the other thing I want to mention about Shall We Knit, they are one of the depots for knitted knockers. Those are the knitted breast prosthetics that I have mentioned in the last few episodes. So I think you've got a picture of a basket of them.
Right.
Right. So by a depot, they mean you can drop them off there, whether they're stuffed or just knit. You drop them off there, and then they will ship them to the knittedknockerscanada.com. They'll send that to them, and then they'll distribute them. So that's fantastic. It's nice to see that. So that was the first store that we went to.
Yeah, it was a great little store.
Yeah. And they've got all kinds of accessories as well. And I managed to pick up one too. So we'll talk about that when we talk about acquisitions.
Now, the next place that I think we found a Starbucks. We had a great lunch. We went downtown a little bit. There was ice skating. They were ice skating outside, which is kind of nice. It was cold, but if you dress for the weather, it was great. So then we headed to the Bead Boutique, and that was another amazing store. I have never seen so many beads in one store in my whole life.
It's really well organized. I'll just hold up their card. So we talked to both Jessica and Stephanie. And once again, lovely people. And they have, as you can see, I'll hold the card up again. They've got the Bead Boutique and the Yarn Boutique. And once again, there was a sale that day, so a few more things to pick up. But the beads were amazing. And I was glad that we went because lots of times you want to have a progress keeper or a stitch marker, and if you pick up little charms or little beads and you can make them, and then it kind of makes your knitting a little bit more fun. So I had a chance to do that, and they had a little corner that is the yarn. They talked about that they're going to kind of let that yarn go. I'm not sure if they're going to continue selling yarn.
I'm not sure if they were either. I wasn't sure on that,
right.
But definitely the beads. Absolutely. I would love to get into jewelry making, another one of my little projects. That would be a great place to get any kind of beads. They had everything that you could ever ask for. So I highly recommend the Bead Boutique.
Now, I want to tell you, when May talks about Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge, we didn't visit Cambridge, but we went to the two stores, the two knitting stores. They were about maybe 7 or 8 minutes apart. Shall We Knit has a Waterloo address, and the Bead Boutique has a Kitchener address. And so that's why they talk at that municipality that you mentioned, because everything is just so close together.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So it was great that we could go to two stores. I really, really liked it. It was nice to meet the people. Everybody's been so kind to us as we've gone through.
They've been so nice and friendly and very, I don't know, it was just nice to talk to people and hear about their lives. And they were always so kind to us. And
absolutely. So it's great.
Very nice.
So thanks for doing this podcast with me. It's nice to meet those people. So is that the rest of our adventure?
Well, I think we ended up coming home and had a fun day. It was a great day, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had an absolutely wonderful day. Yeah. So, as I mentioned, there were a few sales. And so as a result, I managed to find a few souvenirs.
And so that's our next...
And that's what we're going to talk about next.
Perfect.
Now we're going to talk about my souvenirs. Did you get any souvenirs?
I didn't.
No? Well, you did. We actually got some yarn for May, so we did get something for her. It will be knit up into something, and then it's going to be a souvenir for you. That's acquisitions, retail therapy. What do you call it?
Stash.
A stash. So stash enhancement sometimes.
I'm going to have to start buying souvenirs of some sort. Maybe not old souvenirs, but other souvenirs.
Well, we did go in that art gallery, and there were some things you saw that you liked there.
Oh, right.
I think sometimes when we go there, you get ideas.
Right, yes.
Yeah, and so that's helpful, too.
Right.
Not quite a souvenir, but...
Mine are cost friendly.
Yes, they are, but mine were on sale, so I'm happy. All right, the very first thing I'm going to show you is this lovely project bag. Now, we did not buy that on the day, and I still have no idea how May managed to do this. So this is a project bag that you got at Shall We Knit.
Yes.
And this is made by Zigzag Stitches. and it was made, the fabric itself was made for the 10th anniversary of the Shall We Knit store.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
I know, and I love the blue.
When we went into the store, you really liked that. And,
I did.
You know,
So how did you get that out without me
so
seeing?
you were busy looking at some things.
I might get a little involved, yes.
Yes, you were busy looking at some things, and so you were very involved. And so then I just grabbed it because you said you liked it, and I grabbed it, went down to the cashier, and the lady was very nice, and she said, yeah, I said, it's a gift, so do it quick. So we did it quick, shoved it in my pocket, went to the car, and voila.
And
it was a surprise.
It was a Christmas gift for me. What a joy. So I actually haven't been using it yet because I wanted to wait until I had something from Shall We Knit. And so now I have something. It's going to seem a little bit like Mary Poppins' bag because it looks short, but the base is fairly big. And so as a result, it fits a lot. So here we go. Mary Poppins, we go. So first thing I found was this.
I love that color.
I know. So
Is that for me?
No.
Oh.
So this is Fleece Artist, and it's from the National Parks. The National Parks Collection. That's the word I needed. National Parks Collection. And I have been looking at these and looking at these and looking at these. And I looked at the one of Banff, and I thought, you know, you and I'd been to Banff, so I thought, well, maybe that would have been a good one to get. And they didn't have Banff. But then I saw this one. And this is actually, I'm just going to take it back for a sec. This is actually for Aleut Northwest Territories.
Nice colors.
It's called a skinny merino. Slim merino is what it's called. And I can hardly wait. There it is. How many yards do we get in this? Let me see. Does it say? Oh, it's on this part. 400 meters. So there's lots here. It's superwash merino. I love the colors. Oh my goodness, just take a look at that.
That's going to be great when it's knitted
It'll
up
be
into
beautiful.
something. So
Exactly.
what are you knitting with that, or have you decided yet?
Well, I kind of like the shawl thing.
Oh, okay.
And I love the fact that there's all those colors in it.
That'll be great.
Yeah, so that Genesis wrap that I'm working on with the stripes, I'm wondering if you could just use that and have the gradient come through in the yarn itself.
That may be kind of hard when you're weighing it, though. I don't know.
But you know what? If I'm not putting stripes, I don't have to weigh it.
Oh.
Yep,
Okay,
I just start at the beginning and go to the end.
Good
so
idea.
That's not a bad idea. Or I could do that hitchhiker thing, the one that I'm wearing. That's another possibility. Then I found this lovely thing. Okay, and it is called...
And where did we buy this?
This is still at Shall We Knit. Everything that is in that
everything is
Shall We Knit.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
everything's there. So this is... I have to remember how to open it without hurting myself. There we go. So this is called a travel gleaner. It's called Gleaner on the Go. And I have a gleaner for the house, but I wanted to have one just to take with me for traveling. And so I had seen these on somebody else's podcast, don't remember, and I love it. It snaps closed. All the different blades are there. It is like a lint brush as well, and it's going to be easy to put into a suitcase. There it is.
Yeah. It's great for our little adventures.
Exactly. I think so. When we have adventures where we have to go overnight, that's going to come with us, and it'll be great. So that's
a little bag.
Little bag itself. So I was really thrilled with that.
Nice.
And at Shall We Knit, they have a kind of a rewards program, and I had enough that actually I was able to pay for the gleaner on the go just with that.
Nice.
So that was good. The last thing is not going to be a surprise for anybody. Here we go. You have to hold them. One,
it's purple.
and black.
And
two,
purple.
three.
Purple.
So because they were having their sale, I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I have to have it.
It's a nice deep purple too.
It's purple and black, and then it lightens up a little bit.
If you can see the black
It is beautiful. So that's Koigu. This little thing that you're making, that you wear, is from Koigu as well. But I thought if I was going to make a shawl, that I would use that. The color number is 2169, and I
beautiful color.
Love it.
Nice.
I think with black, I think it's going to be gorgeous. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but as I said, they were having a sale, and I thought now's the time. Buy something color that you really like, and it'll be fantastic.
Good.
Okay.
Yes.
So that was at Shall We Knit, and then we went to the Bead Boutique, which also has the Yarn Boutique attached with it. And you found this.
Love it.
It is beautiful. So it is Diamonds Footloose Luxury Sock. And it is 75% merino, 25% nylon. And you said, I absolutely love it. I want another scarf.
Love the colors, yes.
We were just talking, and we may do one of these with half of it, and then I think I might be able to make you some shorty socks with the other half of it.
Great. It's a win-win for me.
Yeah, I might get 2 for the price of 1, so that's good. What I found yarn-wise was this Malabrigo sock, and I think what I'm going to do is actually open it up because the colors in here are amazing. And I don't often do this because I'm not so good. There's purple and blue and there's
green,
some greens. Like the colors are just amazing in here. So this is Malabrigo sock. It is the Candome colorway. So it's $8.70. And once again, with one skein, you can make like 1 skein shawls. And I like those sometimes when you don't need something really heavy. I really do like that. So I can hardly wait to find something to do with that. And this was on sale too. And this was on sale too.
Wow.
I know. We had a great day.
Yes.
Now, what's going to happen now is Mae's going to show you some pictures. I'm going to talk about it. And Mae's such a good editor. She's going to be able to figure out how to do it.
Hopefully.
So then after we looked at the yarn, then I decided to look at the charms. And they had such cute charms. Oh my goodness, they had so many. I think that took longer than looking at the wool, actually, because I wanted to find the right thing.
So many, yeah.
I wanted to get something for Meredith's project bag. I wanted to get something for that, and I wanted to get a few things for myself, so I managed to do that. So I bought some lobster clasps because those I use as progress keepers. Some people use those, also use like a lever back earring. Sometimes people will do that as long as they close. That will work as far as a progress keeper. And then I had listened to Dawn from the Codependent Knitters, as I mentioned earlier, and she puts in a big ring to join it to the charm. And then she says that ring can be used as a stitch marker. So that's the good news. So I bought some of those. So lobster clasp, and then I bought the big circles to help work on that. And then I started buying charms. So I bought, the first one I bought says, "It is what it is." So it's just a circle. It is what it is. I say that to you all the time. You know, when something happens, you say it is what it is. Then I bought a little panda bear because I love panda bears. They're so cute. And my oldest son lives in Hong Kong, and I actually got to go see some panda bears live when I was at Hong Kong. So that meant a lot there. I bought 3 little sheep. Not have you any wool, but 3 little sheep. They're white. You'll see them here. And that's the one that I'm going to put on Meredith's project bag and send with it. So she will see that when we do this. Then I bought some little penguins. I think I bought a couple of those because they were so cute as well. Oh, I know. I could have spent there.
A lot of money
it was good. Yeah. And then the last thing I bought actually was, it was like a little leaf. But the way that it was, it's light, but it's nice. It doesn't have any sharp edges. And yeah, it's almost like a teardrop kind of thing. And I bought 1 for my knitting bag, and then I bought 2 more because I think they would make great earrings.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Jewelry again. We're into the jewelry business now.
So I know sometimes my souvenirs are yarn. Lots of times my souvenirs are yarn. But this time with the Bead Boutique, I was able to find some other things. And I had a blast. Thank you so much. Mae's really got a good eye, first of all, for color, but she also can... I don't know. I get my idea. I need to look for a sheep, and then I miss half the other things. Yeah. So you're really good at looking at that. So that makes our adventures lots of fun. So I really had a good time. And the weather helped us. Like the roads were nice. It was cold.
Yeah, it was cold, but we had a great day.
Yeah, we did have a great day.
Yeah. So thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm really glad that we can be here. Thank you to those of you who have subscribed. We are impressed that we can do this. Yeah. And so please subscribe, give us some comments, let us know what you're thinking, what you'd like to see on the podcast. That would be great to us and help us out. So we really appreciate you taking the time to watch us.
Yeah. And so thank you very much. Until next time.
You take care.